Hi there, hope you're doing good. So here I am with an update to this Excel file, and let me go through step by step. So the first requirement was on the first sheet that you want to add two new entries, medical clearance and PPD testing, for which you want to add a date of result, and then for it automatically determine if they are timely based. And you want to have a calculation that if it is before the hire date or not. If not, then it will turn red. So I have added this functionality. I have first of all I have added these two columns, these two requirement clearance and the testing records just after the clearance, the API clearance, and before the driver information, so that all the clearance and training are on the left side. And then I have added some random numbers to it, some random dates in it, so that I can see if the things are working. Thing is working fine. So if I'll make a change in here, you will see the data will get changed, and you'll be able to see the color changing thing. Let me remove the drop downs. They are not needed. Date formatting is already date. Yes. All right. So you are using few more columns for the date. All right. And you are not using the drop down. Okay. So now you can see these are the dates which are, if those are after the hire date, and I have filled in the hire date as well. And whatever the changes I have made the color blue so that we can recognize that on which column I have made the changes in. So if these are the dates, based on these dates, you can see if it is before the result is before the hire date, it's fine. But if it is after the hire date, which is 1/9/2025, so this is MDDYY. MDDYY. So this is 9th January 2025, and this is 7th January, sorry, 27th of July, which is post the hire date. So it will turn red. So if I'll make any change in any of the cell, the data will get updated. So let me make, and you can see the color got changed because the dates change. These are all dynamic entries so that we can see the dynamic changes and the formula working live. Um, that's it. And then the requirement for the second one was you want to add four trainings and turn those red based on if those are uh, okay. So if those must be completed within the 365 days of hire. So I have added three formatting in here. First is uh, that is within 365 days, like that is expiry. The second one is, I think I have to add this higher part. Okay, let's see. So I have added these three condition formatting. One is if it is expiry, if it is before the working individual date, which is another column added, and if it is within 365 days of the hire date. So let's go to the tracker. So I have added this new column. So this is the first column added. Date staff begin working with individuals, and added some random dates in it. And then I have added six trainings. One, two, three, four trainings are with with reference to the date begin working with, and the rest of the two are uh, linked with the date of hire. Those are also within checking the date within their cells for 365 days, which is expiring. So there are three types of conditional formatting. You can see red with the white fonts, red with blue font, and red with yellow font. So we can explain this once we are in an order, and I can explain that which one is which. So let's go to the third one. All these three conditional formatting are here, and you can see like if this currently it's all red. Let me make a change so that it can change. Okay, now you can see this one is showing black, which is which is associated with the date of start. So this is May 1st, 2025, and this is March 20th, 2025. So this is before this date, the start working date, and so forth and so on. So blue one, okay, I think we can explain this in detail later. But these there are three conditional formatting which are expiry based on the date staff working date and date of hire. Third one is the additional hours. I haven't made so much change in it because it was a simpler one, I guess. So you want to add the training hours from the sheet 2 and sheet 3 as well. So what I've done, I have simply, so what it's doing, it's taking the, uh, basically it has the reference of your file within your system, which I don't think so is correct. This should be this current file. It should not have these addresses in it. So, uh, so this is for the first one, which is training tracker column thumb. So what we can do, we can pull another column in here to add the name of the person. That will be, I think, that will be making more sense. Currently, this one is first one, which is A7. Then this one is an A8, training A8. So this one is it. A7, A8, call and form. Uh, Currently, it's taking the data from another file in your system, which is this one, probably the older file or maybe an older version of the same file. So if I'll delete this, you will see it will take the name of the call and this will full form, I guess. Yes. So now it's showing that call has 33 hours. One is coming in from here, and the rest of these are coming in from his training hours, which is 32. And an additional training here will add another 2. So if I'll make it, sorry, 2. So 2 plus 1, 3. Rest of these are coming in from 54 in here. So you haven't asked me to delete any of the other training. So I have kept the rest of the data. I have also already only updated the sheet with then additional columns and the values. Rest of the part are same. So I hope this making sense, and we can we can spend some time on it so that we can remove the links of the other files to make this file the prime file, the main file, and continue working with it. This file has so many links with the other file. So if you want to share the real file, or if you want me to work on the directly on the main file. So that is it from my side. Please do let me know if I miss anything or if you want to make any changes or any further clarification is required. Looking forward for your response. Take care. Bye.